Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you. Did you see anything
We're
on?
live now.
Really?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. This is Kindness Beyond the Veil, where we'll look at supernatural topics like ghosts, the afterlife, psychic ability, UFOs, starseeds and earth angels, magic and mysticism, but not with fear and loathing everywhere. There's positive and even loving sides to these topics, and that's the light we'll shine on for this show. This is your host, Chip Reichenthal. I was kind of thrust into these curiosities in 1979 when my best friend through childhood came to me at the moment of his death, and I had to know why. Back then, you couldn't talk about that stuff without getting a freak label, so I was pretty much on my own looking into these mysteries early on. Answers would lead to more questions and side realms like magic, stars and planets, energy and physics, and lately, starseeds and earth angels. But I found there's no good and evil in an animal kingdom, no good and evil in a plant kingdom. I've never had a negative encounter with ghosts or the dead, now almost 40 years into this, and there
That's
simply
great.
doesn't seem to be many looks into these fields without all the fear and loathing. Isn't there enough of that in life? Well, we're going to steer away from that, look at the good in people and these topics. Every week, I get to highlight my heroes in these fields for you, introduce you to them, even if you knew all about them. There is kindness beyond the veil. I've seen a lot of it. There's answers to be found on the kinder side of things. And if there's light on the other side, we'll bring it into this side as well. In benevolence, empathy, compassion, the kinder side of science and phenomenon, the kindness beyond the veil. I'm your host, Chip Reichenthal. We're so glad you're joining us. Come on in. Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, indeed. Welcome. Well, I haven't heard that in about 2 years.
Too long.
I don't know how many people that do have shows where they're speaking or they're on film or whatever, and how anxious you are to watch yourself or listen back to yourself. I try not to do that. We're all our own worst critics, right?
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
yes, and that voice that you hear, that's the great Tim Roxbury. He's just like olden days.
It's like the
Uh,
old days, huh?
oh man, it's beautiful enough to produce Kindness Beyond the Veil for me and host his own Supernatural Realm Radio, which he was polite enough to have me on to co-host with them. So the boys are back in town.
We're
Uh,
back, baby. That's all I'm
yeah.
say.
And it's boy, it's so nice to be here again. Nice to see. Well, I actually can't see anything but me and Timmy. But metaphorically at least, to see people I haven't seen in a long time. Definitely missed you. It has been a long, long time. Um, but we just thought we'd come back and say hi. Wanted to let you know that we will be answering questions if you have questions, and just talking about uh, all these different things the last couple of years. That's about how long it's been. Yeah, I did stop everything because we found out that my beautiful wife Terry has throat cancer. So really been uh, just the world got very small, and it got reduced down to one other person. Well, two if you count my daughter,
Hmm.
but uh, and it's interesting to see the difference that luck or lack of luck can make on somebody. We never really talked about that much when we were doing shows about the paranormal and psychics and UFOs and all that stuff. We never really talked about luck, did we, Tim?
No, not really.
I never realized its significance.
Yeah, Chip, Michael Buckley says it's good to hear your voice again.
I love Mike. Oh, how you doing, buddy? Mwah. Yeah, I know. I wanted to come to your event, man. So uh, keep us posted for the next one because I know it's coming up. We all have to do things or not do things, as it will, and take it from somebody who's not done things for a couple of years.
Yeah, we got to quit that cycle and bring you back on the air, Chip.
Yeah, well, that's right, but it is so hard to unplug from social media, and Lord knows I've tried. Timmy knows for sure. He really been wanting me back on the radio for like a long time.
It's like pulling teeth to get you back on, though.
But it's almost impossible to. I mean, try it. And it's not that okay. The phone's off. The TV's off. The internet's off. Everything's off. So I'm unplugged. I mean, it's not like that because life doesn't work that way. If you have a conversation with someone on the street, and probably ask you something about social media or smartphones or computers or internet. I mean, we are so retrained these days. But my brain feels better because I haven't been holding radioactive objects up. Yeah, actually got some clarity for a guy of my age. I
Yeah,
probably. Go
I'm
ahead,
leery.
Dev.
I'm leery about microwaves because I have that my defibrillator in now, so I'm kind of leery
Oh,
about that.
oh, yes. We had a friend who had the same thing, defibrillate with the microwave. Oh, and then you forget. I used to come over a lot. And you forget, and you just casually pop something in the microwave, and you go, oh my god. I don't want to kill my friends.
Yeah,
Just to grab a bite to eat. Yeah.
the surgeon told me it won't bother me, but I don't want to take that chance.
Right, sure. You shouldn't take that chance. It's true, and it. Well, look, it just adds to the risk of the negative, and uh, I mean, I've had a lot of self-destructive friends, and even they wouldn't do that. That's almost too easy, even for self-destructive people.
It's
Let's
hard to believe
let's turn them away.
it's hard to believe it's been in my side under my armpit for a year now.
Wow, a year? You've
A
got to
year.
be kidding! Oh my God!
It's been in there for a year.
It feels like I mean, time has been moving like glue, and it feels like 3 weeks since you
I
got
know,
there.
right?
Wow. Yeah. That's the thing. I'm getting old. And I'm bragging about that. Yeah, got a lot of wisdom that I wouldn't have had 40 years ago. And it's okay to forget things. I have an automatic built-in excuse. But when you have a good memory because you haven't been holding radioactive devices to your head, you can brag about that too. Yeah, and Michael Buckley here, who comes, he's absolutely right. Everybody needs a break once in a while to focus on life, and it is a beautiful thing, especially if you can focus on escaping from all the scary things in it. I'm very good at that. I love my escape. For the longest time, trying to find some feel good programming was near impossible.
Well, I'm telling you, and they're all repeats. If you want to watch the old stuff,
Oh, well, now that with the writer strike and everything, we've got even less to expect,
yeah,
and I don't really know how to feel about that. But I do have to say, as a writer, you know, I'm rooting for them, and I hope they get this thing fixed quickly. I hope something happens where people are going to recognize how stale the programming is getting, or how watching a whole series of a show that you've never watched before seems too dated now, or something. Just you gotta root for our writers there. Um, yeah. Speaking of things happening that a lot of people have vocal opinions on, I'm gonna. They encouraged me to do a poll here, and but I'm using some different software, so I don't have the poll thing. But I do have a question that I'd just curiously like to pose to our friends watching and listening, because it scares me, and for some unknown reason. Um, but it's always a good thing to follow your gut. We used to talk about that, Timmy and I, the sixth sense. We
Mhm.
wouldn't be here if we didn't have that feeling in the pit of our gut, because as part of the food chain, how are you going to sense if there's a predatory animal stalking you at night? I mean, the sixth sense is probably why we're here, having Facebook Live with Chip Reichenthal as we speak. But it's my gut that's speaking to me. And look, I don't. We do not talk politics. I have never. That was one rule, outside of FCC violations or Facebook violations or any of that stuff. No politics, and this is not a political question, uh, but it does have something to do with government. And when I say government, I mean both parties and all sides of all parties, just government. Okay, let's make it one thing for this moment, just for this moment. And say, why all of a sudden are they running the dialogue about UFOs and extraterrestrials? And they're changing the term UFO to UAP,
Yeah, why are they
unidentified
doing that?
aerial. What?
Why are they doing that?
Because I actually think it's a very smart thing that they're doing, and they explained why they're doing it, and that's part of what scares me.
Yeah,
Because when they get smart, I get scared, okay?
exactly.
But unidentified aerial phenomenon takes the stigma away from UFO, because for what a year since before I was born, Eisenhower administration, the government has had a hand in this thing, and suddenly they're out there with it. But anybody who has come forward, whether they be government people or you know Barney and Betty Hill, or Joe Blow, comes forward and says, I saw and had an encounter with an extraterrestrial, or I've seen UFOs, and one crashed into my house, or whatever. They would go out of their way to take credibility away from these people who had these instances. I remember working. We used to do all these paranormal conventions, right? And I was fortunate enough to be with a company like the Glory Haunt Hounds, as a paranormalist, to have tables and everything, and be able to speak at these conventions, and be part of be part of the star section, here and there. And you get people coming up to you, like really super scared and embarrassed, and ask, like they'd ask me if if I had ever seen a UFO or an extraterrestrial, and how I feel about it. They're scared to ask me that question.
Wow.
I'm representing myself as a ghost person, and they're embarrassed to ask me that question. I mean, that's how close these experiences are to people who have actually had them, you
Mhm.
know, and they really don't have anywhere to go. And imagine if you are with the military or with the government and have an experience like that. What do you do? Even in these days, although they did have this big Congress came together and had a couple-hour presentation about UAPs, and they had people talking about how we should destigmatize, the UFOs, and that's why the phrase, or the acronym now, is UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Hey, it sounds more military like.
I wonder why they did that.
And B, it changes the conversation. That's they actually came out and said that. They
Wow.
basically saying disclosure. You know, I mean, when we were kids, we always thought of, the day that disclosure would come. You
Mhm.
know, and technically it was a December 3 or 4 years ago. Cover of New York Times had a story. Uh, but it really didn't get that much reception at the time. And you can kind of see people are kind of, hey, uh, there's actually life outside of this planet, and people are kind of, yeah, did did you see what Garfield said yesterday? I mean, it's that kind of thing. I haven't even asked my poll question yet. But does it disturb anyone that the government and the military are going out of their way to take over the dialogue in regards to UFOs? I'm old school, so I'll say it. There you go. Treat me as you want. Or ETs, extraterrestrials, anything that could possibly be alive and not from this planet. Um, and it's not just that. It's that, okay, here, there, we've known about them, and we're going to start disclosing stuff. And but first we have to change the whole dialogue, and we're going to not ridicule government officials, the whistleblowers that come and say something, um, or we're not going to make people look like idiots if they have an experience, because 800,000 a day are getting caught on phones, you know. So they really have no real weapon for that. So instead, though, they're taking over the dialogue, and my concern is, well, nobody trusts so I remember the cartoons, the spacemen would come, and it's the first thing they'd say is, "Take me to your leader." And you say that now, and nobody has a good idea on where to send them.
Chip, were you reading the messages?
No, no.
We got Tammy on. We got Michael on.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, hey. Nice to see you too, buddy. Yeah, well, yep. That's what I thought too. Michael Buckley, our buddy, yeah. Them releasing that information was intended to distract us from something else, which usually works. It's a smokescreen for something else. Yeah, the red herring. That's what I was thinking. But what? The smokescreen failed this time. People are not falling for it. The only thing it did was tell us UFOs are real and didn't distract anyone.
Right.
But at the same time, they still know something that we don't if they're going to all of a sudden come out with that. And all of a sudden, something that has been absolutely ridiculed for most of my life, actually my entire lifetime, uh, just changes.
Why have they been keeping it? Why have they been keeping it secret so long?
I'm thinking it's that Skinwalker Ranch show,
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Because they got all
Well,
that
ain't that
science-y
crap,
stuff
isn't it?
now in there. Yeah, got all these balls flying around. That, I mean, confuses meters and all that stuff. Hi,
I
Tammy.
have, I have yet to get that the owner from Skinwalker on my show. I have yet to get him on.
Who? Who?
The owner of Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good.
He will not come on my
Well, he's a
show.
little busy right now. I mean, now they've got sideshows now. It's not just Skinwalker Ranch. It's this thing from Skinwalker Ranch and all of that stuff. But you you also, though, if you do watch these shows, and my wife and I caught some. It's like, look, I've been a ghost guy for 44 years. I can't watch paranormal shows. it's kind of like porno. I can't watch porno because I'm not having the sex. I don't care about other people having sex. I care about me having sex. I mean, why would I want to watch somebody else? It's kind of like that, you know. I don't want to see other people go hunting ghosts because they'll do it differently, and it'll just make me angry.
They'll upset you. Huh?
But you know, the skinwalcher, you know, I mean, that stuff, when they're trying to, experiments with these different meters and everything, and they're getting real physics involved and real science involved and things like that, that you do see more in our kinds of shows these days. You know, still, you're a witness to energies, just gravity, or the way things move physically that we've never seen before. You know, right in our faces, and you know, and the only thing that I can think of, at least, is what I've been thinking of since having shows about, you know, paranormal and stuff like that. You know, the science just hasn't caught up to it yet. I think that theoretical physics is starting to catch up. I do. I actually do. Um, I was even going back and forth on having a show about it. I think I mentioned that to you, Tim. I was gonna call it
Yeah.
kindness in space time.
Well, that's what the show's going to be about. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because you do see things now in theoretical physics. You know, it's hard to do that mathematics for consciousness as an energy form. You know, they don't quite have the math for that yet, at least not that I know of. But there are things that are being at least thought upon, pondered, you know, very hard. I mean, people are writing papers about things that make sense, because a paranormal experience really is a person sitting in a room, uh, having somehow contact, real time connection with someone from a different space and time. You know, a guy who died in 1837 who thinks you're on his lawn. You know, so how can that happen in your current three-dimensional space-time? You know, where you're sitting, where you do, and a lot of it is has to do with space-time. You know, space bends, time bends. Space warps, time warps. You know, we see space bend and warp. We see the effects of gravity, but we don't focus on what it does to time. You know, um,
right.
one thing that really caught up to me about time, and the way we see it is, you know, past, present, future. You know, we live in the moment. You know, we hope for the best. What's past is behind us. You know, what's ahead? Who knows? Um, that's not how physics sees it. You know? It's fluid. You know, it vibrates. It has energy. It has frequency. It has vibration. It's a lot more bendable than we see. Um, I've been talking to folks. My wife and I, and Timmy, you and I used to talk about this a lot on your Supernatural Realm radio show, but also on Kindness Beyond the Veil. Um, we used to talk about how people miss time, you know, within abduction or contactee cases. A lot of times, uh, you know, very often, um, when there is some sort of interaction with what looks like a UAP, new school,
Mhm.
or an extraterrestrial or something, part of the experience is you've missed time. You know, 45
Right.
minutes has gone by, and you've been aware and there for all of 10 seconds, and yet your clocks tell you that you've missed 45 minutes. Where did the time go? You know, and I have to credit Joe Montaldo from UPRN, and one of my old network bosses. Who
Yeah.
said that he there's a belief that some of these the greens, for example, the greens, um, can be around any time at will because they place themselves exactly 1 second behind your time frame. So they're in the same room, they're in the same dimension, but you can't see or feel or sense them. And sometimes they'll pluck you out and, do things. People have those little pieces of stuff in their fingers, toes, or whatever, the implants and
Oh,
other
yeah, I
weird
just saw some.
things. Oh, I think, oh, we got something coming up. Uh, but missing time, and that's something that I've seen socially uh, more. The last time 2 years ago, when we were doing radio every week, there was something else that we were noticing. Um, when I'm a certified hypnotherapist. My specialty is past life regression hypnotherapy, and you don't have to believe in past lives in order to benefit from this. It's very therapeutic. It answers questions that you've had buried within your soul most of your life. So whether you believe in past lives or not is irrelevant. It's how it answers those questions. Why am I always this way? Why do I hate one sister and like the other one? All those types of things. But I've had a lot of sessions currently within the last few years where people had past lives that were not human or animal or bacterium. They were not of this world. And I
Hmm.
started seeing that like a significant ticking upwards in the last 3 years or so. But I'm starting to see the missing time thing tick up also. And it's happened a lot with Terry and I, especially, we're basically, we're alone, you know, uh, and we see it happening a lot. But we're not alone. We have a lot of company here. It's just it's not necessarily alive. It's not
Right.
necessarily of this world. We have got all sorts of visitations, but the missing time thing is, and sometimes it's just freaky because it's not a couple of minutes. It's like 3 hours. You know, there was a couple of times where I had something in my finger. You know, and then it's like as soon as I pointed it out to somebody, it, it was gone. And then like
Oh,
it was back
that's weird.
the same evening. So it's like doesn't
Oh,
want anybody else to see it. Um, so yeah, I mean, weird stuff happens. But you know, uh, if it's your reality, then who's to say that it's wrong? You know, there's a we have an awful lot of confusion about reality now, and whose reality counts and whose truth matters. And it's odd that those kinds of breakdowns in discussions haven't really happened in our realm like it does in real life. So thinking
mhm.
about Buckley's comment about you know just take it easy and thinking about life. Uh, and life is scary right now. you know,
It sure is.
yeah. Well, yeah, kind of. Look, I've had a magical life. I can say that. A very very few regrets that I've had. A lot of embarrassing moments, but so be it. You know, far from perfect, but that's okay. I'm at the age where I accept my limitations. I'm fine with them. I mean, people are who they are. I can't pretend to be insincere because I think that's the one thing that scares me the most is you know being seen or considered insincere. If somebody pulled a gun to my head uh, uh, and asked me what's the last thing I'd be willing to give up, as long as my family isn't around or anything, it would be my word, my integrity. My word is my bond. So there are a lot of times where I have to break a promise or I have to go back on my word or create other words instead. And
Yeah.
that's my weakest spot, I think. You know, you were going to say something about an hour ago.
I don't remember now.
Yeah. No, it was I think maybe something with the time shift or the
Oh, missing
yeah, missing
time.
time.
Have you experienced missing time?
Yeah,
Have you?
where the yeah they can pluck you from your own time space time and put you back. But when they put you back, they put you back a little early, or they put you back a little late.
Are you still experiencing the 5D realm?
Yeah, yeah. There was a long time that I wasn't. Long time that I wasn't. And don't really realize until it hits you. And it really didn't hit me until we're tuning the TV and I got paranormal caught on tape or whatever. Got a couple of friends on that show, and it kind of hit me then. And the weird thing is, my wife and I, all of our parents are gone now. She's got other family members too. Um, oh, we lost we've lost a lot of friends since I've last been. And we lost somebody today that absolutely breaks my heart. A guy named Scott Grunwald. He's one of the funniest guys I ever met in my life, and he passed today. And we really have to send a big shout out to him and his family. He was so good. He was in the paranormal realm. He's the kind of guy you want at your party. I mean, not only is he really really good at what he does, but he's funny and he keeps people awake and engaged. And it's hard to see people that are just that awesome. I mean, it's just a. Uh, I mean, it's hard to put to words how amazing this guy was, and we just lost him. Um, a buddy of mine, Keith Shoemaker, was not in the realm, but was a nightclub DJ, and that's a past life of mine. Passed a couple of months ago. Fran Ginsberg from Forever Family Foundation.
Oh wow,
Yeah, we lost her a year ago, I think. I'm pretty sure it was like last September. But yeah, and that really, every once in a while you come across a loss that stuns you. I mean, we
for
used to
sure.
talk about that with celebrities. You see actors and actresses and on film stars and everything, dying all the time. But every once in a while, one will hit you especially hard, and a lot of times you don't know why. you know.
Sure.
But yeah, we have lost a lot of good people this year, and I can at least say with authority, even though I've been away from my 5D world, that they're all doing
Mhm.
well and uh, they're in good shape. Uh, I think it's going to take Scott a minute, but as far as the rest of them go, Dr. Claude, oh, he did The Science of the Soul, and it was one of the best books I ever read. Swanson, Dr. Claude Swanson.
Oh, Scott
He
Swanson, yeah.
passed a couple of months ago, a few months back, and yeah, that was that one hit you hard. But yeah, but yeah, they're all in good shape. They send their love and say hi. I can say that with some authority, even though I'm still kind of distanced from that. Actually, uh, I decided to take a course uh,
Oh, yeah.
in mediumship.
Oh,
Yeah, it actually it's starting as we're talking right now. Oops. uh, but yeah, I had a 7 year period I was tuned in there, and I had my moments. But I decided that maybe it's time I fight to have it back a little longer. So I'm gonna try it out. It's about an 8 month course, and but it'll. I think my wife could benefit from it too. I personally I think she's more psychic than I am. But she doesn't believe that. Uh, so I'd like to give her an opportunity, um, or actually give myself an opportunity to see. See, I want to be the guy. Told ya. you know, see how that goes.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, yeah. But another good point from our friend Michael Buckley. God, I love you, brother. Best part about being in the paranormal field is knowing those who passed. For certain, they are still around us. Yeah, and the odds that we can sense it, goes way up. Uh, I have also found personally it has really dulled my sense of grief. Uh, because to me, you know, I got friends in high school that are uh, not only alive, but very alive and thriving. But they live in Arizona or California or Michigan, and I'll never see him. I'll never speak to him again. You know, uh, but the people who died, that's different. So we're, I got a chance of seeing them again. Much better than my old high school buddies. Who used to know like this. Until they passed. Oh my God, that happened once while I was with you. It was after an episode of Supernatural Realm, and I think you remember it. Somebody's visiting me right now. Do you remember that? Somebody's visiting. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is, but somebody's visiting me right now, and I know them, and they promised me that I'm going to find out who it is. And yeah, it was about a month and a half later. I found out who it was. It
Wow.
was uh, Buddy Knoll, this guy I went to high school with. We were like really good friends, and the kids from his neighborhood and the kids from our neighborhood we like play together, even though we live pretty far apart. It's a long bike ride to get to their hood, so to speak, and you know. But yeah, that does happen from time to time, and a couple of times I've sensed that somebody uh, had left this particular plane, and I was right. Um, I'm not happy about being right about that. I
I
like
hear
being
you.
right, but not in that particular situation. But yeah, it is in the paranormal realm. Uh, Thank you, Claire. Yeah, we all give Terry our love. Um, yeah, I've got some a nice story about her in a moment. Um, but the yeah the whole paranormal world and that sense of spirit and just I was thinking just the other day because there's a chance that I'll be uh, doing psychic fairs locally. I met this guy over the weekend. He introduced himself to me through LinkedIn. He's local, but he's been doing it for years, and I'm not very out in my own area. I mean, uh, I've got better recognition in Buffalo than I do in Albany. And it's just when I'm in Albany, I'm home with my wife, and uh, you
Yeah.
know, uh, that's kind of like the primary thing.
You've been in some films in
Oh,
Buffalo
sure,
too,
yeah,
haven't
yeah, a couple of movies. Oh, I mean, all sorts of miracles and stuff in Buffalo, and it's a different kind of. In New York State, the further west you go, the friendlier it gets. Especially the upstate area. You know, you go to the city and it's a crapshoot. I mean, you either
you?
have a good time or you don't. You either come away from it improved or not. I mean, you got 19 million people in a 2 mile square radius. Yeah, they're gonna probably be angry or want your luggage at some point. I mean, you just never know. That yeah. Thing about uh, Terry and I is uh, we come across these things, in regards to getting her better and her health, and we have these doctors, and they're really, really great doctors. I mean, they're phenomenal doctors. I mean, I thank the Lord. We have probably the best specialists in chemotherapy, radiology, and the ear, nose, and throat folks. Um, but every once in a while, there's just aches and pains that there's nothing they can do about. Um, so we found, and I got aches and pains. That's been a story of my life since 1994. And they don't treat that stuff anymore. So uh, you're out on your own, and sometimes you have to do things that people will scorn if they figure out. But oh well. you know. Uh, at least I'm still creative and
Yeah,
still trying to do the right things in life.
I've been blessed with the surgeons and doctors I've had in Pittsburgh.
Oh, poor Tim. Oh, well, yeah, Tim here has had like 17 surgeries while my wife has been enduring her cancer.
About
And
six or
oh my
seven
God,
surgeries. Yeah.
6, 7, 17, whatever. Yeah, I just got my first real one. I'd, I'd show you the Frankenstein stuff, but nobody really wants to see it. I don't know. Can you see? Is that low enough? Got any there? I can't see it myself. But you know, th- they cut my chest open. Got a big yeah, and they put this vacuum pack on it. So any discharge or stuff like that, this thing takes care of. It's plugged in all the time, so it's always on. It also keeps it from getting infected, which is really uh, the thing that I fear most post surgery, and B, the thing that everybody should fear most post surgery is infections. And so cleared from that and everything. And my discharge paper said, they probably they more than likely have fixed this incision with skin glue, which will flake off by itself and
I got
just
one in my chest
dissolve. Did really?
when they opened my chest up and did my heart surgery.
And you got a skin. Oh, yeah. You had to say that, didn't
I got glued back up. I got a
you?
7-inch scar on my chest,
Wow.
and I got a
Yeah.
2-inch scar where they put the lead for my defibrillator.
Oh man. Yeah. I don't think we could count your scars, man. That would take longer than the show.
For sure. Huh?
But yeah, they took this vacuum thing off, after a couple of weeks, and I found out I had staples. They stapled the thing closed.
Oh, they hurt too. I
I
hurt in
thought
my chest. Oh my God.
I th- but I thought it was skin glue, and for somebody who's been, scared of his own pain for 25 years now, I was really proud of that, man. I said, hey, I didn't even know I had staples.
I had them. They're painful to remove too.
Oh, well, that's the thing. So, they took him out a few days ago. And that killed me. Oh, my God.
I had
Oh,
12. I had 12 staples by my belly button from my aneurysm. Oh my God.
oh, whoa.
And a couple of them
Oh,
broke off, and they had to get little pieces out. Oh my.
oh, my God. See, now I got to smoke just to think about that. I mean, all my pride was gone. It's like, here I thought I was doing so well,
My nurse
vacuum
in rehab
packed,
said, "I'll take them
good.
out for you." Oh yeah, sure. You don't have to go to the hospital. I'll
Oh
take them out.
man, yeah, yeah. Now that and now that I mean that didn't really hurt either, But I had a very smart doctor. They were actually talking about past life regression hypnotherapy, which caught me totally off guard in the first place, and totally distracted me in the second. Because even though I've been doing it professionally for a
Oh,
couple
check
of
my line.
decades now, it's still fascinating.
Yeah.
Uh, and just like that, 30 staples were gone, and it's like, wow, okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so you know. So I get dressed and get my follow-up appointment at the door. Get the elevator. Elevator opens and I take my first step and it's like, oh my God, what happened?
Oh, 5 years ago today, we lost my cousin Billy.
Oh, really? Today?
5 years
Wow,
today.
5 years? Oh my God, that's the one I met after he. Wow. Yeah, his cousin Billy. God bless him. Passed and uh, Timmy uh, showed me a picture of him a few days later, and I saw him in a lucid dream that I had the night that we had the conversation. It was like right after we learned his cousin Billy passed, and I was in bed. I thought, it's one of those you don't know if you're awake or asleep, because in this dream I'm lying exactly where I'm lying in real life, but asleep. Uh, but here, I can't sleep, and I get up and I open the bedroom door, and we've got this hallway, goes straight down, and there's this guy in the hallway, really polite, nice white button-up shirt, and he goes, "Hey, Chip, hey, thanks, man." And I'm like, "Hey, anytime, and it, it turns out it was his cousin Billy. Because we did. Timmy and I had a nice long talk about him, and um, there's something about him in the afterlife that he was actually looking forward to. And it's hard to imagine, being dead and having things to look forward to. But well, and one of those things was, he could kind of help Timmy amp his game up, the sensing spirit thing, and he, he was actually excited about that, and it's glasses half full, I mean, even when you're dead, glasses half full. I think now that's not only a great way to live; it's a great way to die. It is, and I don't want to speak in a tone that sounds like I'm joking about it because of course, it's a very serious thing. But no, I was just proud as hell.
Hey,
That's
hey,
why I'm so upbeat. Good.
D Colin chimed in and said, "Good to see you guys."
Oh, Dee. Oh, we love you so much. Mwah. Yeah, talk about the city. Oh, man. Oh, one of the most phenomenal people I ever met. Oh, yeah, and thanks, and she shared my post too, so thank you, Dee, for that.
We'll have
That's
to
so
have her back
sweet.
on
I'm
sometime.
really touched. Oh my
Yeah,
God, isn't she amazing?
she is.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, talk about having stories. My God, wow, she's got some of the most fascinating stories I've ever heard. And she can put them like on this like little rotating file and just pluck one out, and it's like, really? uh, bless you, dear. And Claire Petty. Oh, and Tammy. Tammy, I haven't seen in such a long time. We used to do investigations together back when I was Glory Haunt Hounds,
Oh,
the
really?
paranormal investigation team, and Tammy used to come to our events all the time. Ah, boy, I've seen you in a long time. Well, I've seen you very photogenic because I've seen a lot of pictures on you when I'm on Facebook, in the rare occasions that I see pictures.
Kathy
And
Tobin's Kathy Tobin's in there too.
is she?
Yeah,
Oh, hi, Kath. Oh, yes, she and her husband were our team leaders, you know. I mean, they really made our lives what they were, my Terry's and mine, you know. Uh,
Jimmy Maynard's here.
is he really?
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, your screen's much better than mine is. How you doing, man? Oh, see, this is why I like doing this so much.
Everybody
This is
misses you,
people
Chip.
we've missed. I know, but I've been hard to get a hold of. Nobody would know better than you, Tim.
That's
Oh,
for sure.
back to my wife for a moment, because the story. There are certain things that doctors can't fix and medicines can't fix. So we actually, I got my wife involved in with a Reiki healer. Okay, and when I say Reiki healer, that applies to just about any awesome professional in the Reiki world. Uh, but this particular healer, was so next level. Uh, I remember a long time ago. um, I had that lung thing and I was scared to death and I thought it was COVID. I still think it was, uh, because it was like a pneumonia but with an attitude, like a pneumonia that's really pissed off and just wants you dead. Um, uh, and and uh, and I went to her and the way it's described is she's like a black belt,
Mhm.
okay, but like 125th degree black belts. I mean, I think there's only three or four people in the world who've done that well, and one of them taught her. Uh, but yeah, we went to a Reiki healer, and Terry, she's always been fascinated with that stuff, but she has this kind of I don't know, built-in attitude where nobody's going to change me. you know, so it's like I did a past life regression hypnosis on her, and so nobody's going to hypnotize me. And people have tried, professionals have tried and failed, and I've seen it. I've seen healers try and fail. You know, but this was amazing. I think I should say the name out loud. You know her too. It's Glenda Dawson.
Oh yeah,
You remember Glenda Dawson, right?
I do remember her.
Yep. And Larry Davidson, her husband. They're awesome people. But I really have to say that there were some points, and it's not just physical stuff either. It's it's not exactly good entertainment watching somebody that you love more than anything else on this earth suffer, 24/7. It's not just an easy thing. I'm not being poor, pitiful me here. I'm just saying it to make a point, because that side of it was gone too. you know. So we hit bumps in the road, and we called Glenda Dawson, and my God, I mean, it's not just what you expect. And a lot of times, if you go see a healer, you'll get what you expect. I think 90% of the time that's what happens, especially if you have connection with that person, because there is an energy there that works. And even more than that, it incites a belief. And a belief is 1,000 times more powerful than an opinion. People kill for beliefs, right? People die for beliefs. So once you get that belief structure in there, boom. You know, there's been some healers that are miracle makers. You see some of the Asian countries where they do surgeries with their hands. They got those kind of miracle healer guys. Uh, but I mean, this was. I mean, it's just not that it healed the physical pain, but we had energy. We had enthusiasm. Uh, we had, like, all you can do is say, "Holy," you know. Not sure what we can say here.
Hey Chip, we're gonna
With
have
the,
to play since we're on the network. We're gonna have to play a couple commercial breaks.
okay, well, you do that for the network, and I'll just say hi to the folks. Can we make that possible? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Good. All right. You say you're listening to the last frequency. Is that right? Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I really wanted to thank you all for joining us. Is that still going over there, King? Or is it?
Yeah.
You're listening to the VARA Network.
Play one commercial break. Just one commercial.
You're listening to the VARA Network.
My name's Joe Biden.
All of this as more than half of Americans think President Biden will go down as one of the worst presidents in American history.
I keep forgetting I'm president.
Don't forget to hit the donate button on the way out. That will help the Last Frequency stay on the air. Just go to lastfrequency.com and send some good frequencies our way. Or take advantage of one of our subscription levels designed to help fund what is free for all. The Last Frequency Radio.
The search is over. You found us. You're listening to The Last Frequency.
All right, we're back.
Chip, we're back.
Speaking of last frequency, that's Michael Vera's, right? It's my old buddy Mike. I
Yes.
gotta send lots of love to Michael Vera. I haven't seen him in a long time, man. That's a beautiful man right there, and he might even be listening since it's his network and everything.
Might be. Krista
Yeah, we
Cesare says
love you,
hi.
man. And yeah, Chris DeCesare, oh my God, hi Chris, we love you so much. Mwah. Yeah, and he's right. Glenda Dawson and Larry Davidson are phenomenal. Actually, I'm gonna be on. Glenda has a radio broadcast she's doing too, called Glenda's Dragon's Den. That's Wednesdays 9 p.m. And this particular Wednesday at 9 p.m., I'm going to be guesting with them. I'm going to have a nice talk about how much help they've been to my darling wife and I, because it's the least I could do. I mean, I've just never seen anything like it, and I met some legendary healers in my life and walked with shaman, and but this is like on a really different level. So anybody that's listening that's in a lot of physical, spiritual, emotional pain of any kind, or just wants to feel good. I mean, we could be perfect.
This
Yeah,
is a wonderful guy, isn't
we
he?
could be perfectly happy and still feel like crap. So I mean, if you just want to feel good, uh, yeah, Glinda Dawson. Glinda's Dragon's Den is her show, which is Wednesdays at 9 p.m. And Glinda's magicalcreations.com is where she does all her. I mean, she does not just the Reiki healing, but, which is better than anybody that I've ever seen or gone to. But she did a lot of different things, property cleansings, medium type of things, all sort of. I mean, she's got so many gifts. Santa Claus is a little jealous, It's kind of saying, "I want my mojo back." Come on, Glenda, give Santa his mojo back, man.
We'll have
Oh
to have
yeah,
Chris
well, I
back on
definitely
too
have to have
sometime.
Chris back on. Oh my God, yeah. Uh, oh,
Great guy.
so
Love
many
him
great
too.
memories. I mean, and talk about enduring through impossible experiences. I mean, and not only coming out of it in one piece, but just being one of the most gracious, kindest people on earth. I mean, for somebody like me who likes to be a representative of kindness, that's gift from God stuff, man.
Chip, what about your new
Well,
show
I
you're going to
don't know if
start?
I'm going to, uh, here's, yeah,
You want to mention
I
it or
think,
not?
well, we're talking about kindness in space time and thinking about that one and talking about theoretical physics or new portions of science and scientific types of things or evidentiary types of things uh, that kind of, dot an I across a T in the paranormal realm, in the extraterrestrial realm, in the psychic ability realm, in alternative healing, all those types of things. I mean, the science and even the faith they're all kind of catching up, you know. Uh, but I think people are looking at science and faith a lot differently, like right now, in the here and now, than even 2 years ago. But definitely more than 60, and it's there's a lot of interesting things to point out, and yeah, I thought it would be a cool thing to point them out. Thinking about bringing the kindness beyond the realm back. Um, Thinking about going back with Timmy on Supernatural Realm Radio, being a co-host with him. Um, have an opportunity to uh, do live appearances at psychic fairs in the area that I live in, Albany, Schenectady, Troy, the great capital district of the Empire State of New York. Um, doing tarot readings and going to psychic fairs and stuff. And I'm also thinking about having a website where I can do readings. I actually have a Chip the Kindness Guy Facebook page where I have that up. But I haven't really been online, so it's been hard to get a hold of. But also past life regression hypnotherapies and make them available to the public. And I charted out a master class um, for all the paranormal realms. It's a 20 class master course that I would like to do as a web thing. So those are things that I've been considering. Um, but yeah, the tarot readings I'll know more about within the next couple of weeks, because I just met this guy recently. He's from the area, and I mean, Kathy knows, Kathy Tobin, she knows. I'm not out in Albany, as a psychic and representing myself, or as a paranormalist, really. I did it with them, but I mean, they ran the show. I'm just not. I don't know. I've never been very good at promoting myself, but I this master course, I think, has uh, points in it, ideas, and presentational types of things that you wouldn't see anywhere else. And I would like to do that web course. I also have a shop, and this is for my wife. Don't know if it'll happen or not. I'm going to be very limited about what I say about this, but I I reached out to some friends, actually, a friend of a friend. uh, there was a point, people might remember this because most of the people that you hear saw the post. It was like a year ago. I'm like, anybody who knows Andrea Perrin, where Andrea Perrin is and how I can get a hold of her. It was one of these like random, like, what. I mean, he and I looking back are going, wow, that looks random. Well, so it was somebody that we both knew. I kind of forgot the name, but it was somebody in Hollywood I reached out to, and pitched a couple of ideas. The one they really liked was one of Terry's ideas, you know. And of course, that's my luck, naturally. you know, but in a way, exactly, that's my luck. Because it gets to honor her, and so all of this work and coming up with different ideas to make the show not just a show, but something that's new, something that's exciting, something that's different, and ultimately, it's kind of like my book. Even the dead won't tell you the truth. The title looks scary, the cover looks scary, but in the book is ultimately kind and happy. So it's kind of like that. It's not anything to do with paranormal or psychic realms, anything near that. But, we did finish the process. So they came up with this thing that uh, uh, they had. It's a promotional reel. So now they're submitting it to networks, and if it gets picked up, then Terry and I become executive producers, co-executive producers, with the two ladies in Hollywood that we pitch these things to, and plus I can forever say, this was my wife's idea, and that's a beautiful thing. But there's a couple of little things that kind of stand in the way, like my wife still is in the midst of her cancer. That's a biggie. She's in round 2 of chemo as we speak, and we got to get her better. Got to get her better.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, that's another possibility too. But I think because when I got sick, none of us saw it coming, and I was, at least from what they told me, a lot sicker than I thought I was, and I needed this pretty major surgery to take place, and the doctors are yelling at me because I unplugged from social media and stopped everything. to be there for my wife 24/7. And they said, "You're an idiot for doing that." Just
So
about
did
all
I.
of them, really. And they're doctors. They have those letters after their name, so they can say that, and I can say, "Oh,
Wow.
okay, I guess officially I'm an idiot." Then.
I was thinking it, but I never said it.
You're not alone, buddy. But at least I'm an interesting idiot, and that's what counts. So, yeah.
That's true.
Uh, but yeah, they're like, you got to take care of you, man. And I always remember the biggest part of how you describe it as 5D, being in that 5D world. That's just
Right.
tuned in to all the dimensions and frequencies, and not just ghosts, but otherworldly things, and all sorts of different energy, vibration, and frequency. As I felt a sense of purpose, a sense of duty, a sense of calling, because I never had a negative encounter with anything paranormal or um, extraterrestrial or multidimensional, or however you consider whatever it is that I have had the honor of having contact with. You know, it's a great blessing. Oh, there's something I got to plug to. Hey, Andrea Perrin has a movie out. Yeah,
Oh,
it
really?
came out last week. I bought it the day it came out. I think it was like a week ago Saturday. It's called Beyond the Grave. It's available on Amazon Prime, on Vudu. Um, I think Apple, in any of the streaming services, where you can get the new movies. Yeah.
Okay, I've
Oh,
heard that
yeah.
one too.
Definitely miss her. And she had Ken DaCosta as a guest. Terry and I were watching, and we're watching our old friends, and we cried at the end. And that's all I'm going to say about that, and just let that teaser hang there, because that's another, uh, it's so cool when you watch friends of yours, having really their lives changed in front of you on a streaming service in your living room. It's just something about that.
Is Andrea's dad still around?
I'm not. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Um, she's had a lot of loss, though. I know that.
Her dad's wonderful.
Oh,
I
yeah,
met him
he's
one time, and
a
he's
cool
wonderful.
dude right there, man. Cool dude. Terry, the
He
first thing
is.
she said, because Andrea was on the farm where all that stuff happened in Rhode Island, and Terry's like, I
Yeah.
want to be there with her. So I got to appeal to Andrea now about Andrea, take my wife to that farm in Rhode Island, please. God, she deserves that thrill so much. But the beautiful insight
Yeah.
about spirit, and a lot of different things that I haven't had a chance to say myself for a couple of years. Joanne is here, Glenda's here. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. This is like phenomenal. Oh,
You
man,
gotta
I
come
know.
back full
I
time.
miss it. Oh, God, I'm
You
so
got.
touched. But, but yeah, it was just, yeah, I was very distanced from it, and it just felt so. There's a discord, just a discord, and I get these feelings every once in a while that I don't think are significant at all, where something really feels wrong, and it comes out of nowhere. Something. Okay, something feels really, really wrong, and you just have that feeling that the other shoe's going to drop somehow, somewhere, some way, and it never does. And I don't know why I get those things, and I hate those things. But you have to hang on to them, because if you follow your gut and it's true, at least you're forewarned and you're alert. Um, I don't even really know why I said that. Oh, yeah, the Discord, you know because I know that my parents are here. I know that her parents and her brother are here, and a lot of old friends and friends from the field, friends we've mentioned on this show that we lost just this year that have come to visit, uh, and it's just, you know, it's like you're outside of this box. You know they're there. It's kind of like snowing outside, but hey, not on me. It's kind of like that, and there was a sense of duty to that, too. But I think once the doctor started telling me I'm an idiot for putting my wife's health above mine, uh, or at all costs, let alone any cost, and not pursuing things that felt like uh, my purpose, my duty, my dream is. Uh, it goes against your health. It goes against mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health. And so they said you're an idiot. And so that's why, I'm dipping my toe into water here.
Oh, Chip, I wanted to say that for the listeners out there, I have to go in for an ultrasound on my left leg and my stomach in
What
October.
day in October?
Make sure, to make sure the
What day in
aneurysms are
October?
gone.
Yeah. Let's write it.
I think it's the 15th of October. I'm not sure about that,
15th?
but I'm pretty
All
sure it's the
right. Well, you
15th
know
of
what you
October.
do? Let us know about it. We'll
15th or
we'll
16th of
we'll we'll
October.
keep it out there. We'll keep it alive.
Let me
All
just
right,
check my
yeah,
phone.
you
Hold on
check
one,
your
one
phone. We
second.
got a lot of friends that are healers. Yeah, I really want to thank you all so much for joining us here. Oh my God, this is just so touching. And Terry sends her love. And oh, if she knew half of you were here. Uh, you know, it's amazing though. We were talking about Chris DeCesare and the strength that he showed under these circumstances that were just like impossible. And, kind of reminiscent of that, you know. And yet he had this glow to them, and this laugh that was so contagious, and this smile that it like made your whole soul smile. It's reminiscent of that. Yeah, there's been a lot of blessings that we've seen. Hadn't really felt that way, uh, but yeah, the one thing I've learned in my 2 years of radio silence is the universal law of balance is a thing. Uh, um, because there is just a balance to everything, and that includes things like luck that we feel we have no real control over, uh, but we actually do, and a lot of that has to do with inner belief, you know because we will never know uh, the real power of our own belief, I guess, our own essence. Um, but you think about things and you start turning them around. We're just in a lot of, I don't know, days, weeks, months where oh, this sucks, oh, this sucks, and this sucks, and then the inner dialogue starts getting a little bit more, sucking, and yeah, everything, and more stuff sucks, and look at this, I can't watch that because I'm too busy sucking.
October 18th.
October
October
18th.
18th,
Oh,
Chip.
okay. Well, that's That's actually a much better thing. Joanne will tell you, it's a numerology thing. That's a 9. So that-
And um I have a follow up with my
and the
cardiologist on the
13th.
13th of
That's a
October.
4. Yeah. Wow. Well, you got a busy month coming. Yeah. We both got appointments too. uh,
And I got 17th to
oh
come out
wow.
on top of that. So
Wow.
next
Oh,
month,
that's right.
yeah.
That's next month too. Oh lordy. Boy, we're going to be talking about Timmy a lot in October. His month is equivalent to our Halloween. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Scarier probably.
great.
Oh man, boy, oh boy. Yeah, you got a month for sure. Well, I might have one more on the opposite side of things because I might actually be going out and doing psychic fairs, doing tarot card readings,
Oh,
live. I always like doing that stuff. I remember, and Kathy Tobin will remember too, because we always went to these paranormal events, and we went to a psychic fair, and the difference was, I mean, like night and day. I mean, the way you felt being in there, it's like you didn't feel like you belonged there. you know? And it's like, hey, dude, I've seen things that you probably haven't. And it was
right.
back in the day, and like there's a lot. And even this new guy who I met recently that's local that may help make this happen for me would agree. Uh, Back in the day, the psychic thing was more costume than content. They'd have the karmic hats, the bells and the whistles and the candles and all that stuff, and they're practically dressed up for Halloween, just so you know that they're the psychic and you're not. And it was like, but I talk to ghosts all the time. what? What? Uh, so, yeah, that won't happen at my table. That's all I'm going to say about that. But this guy seems like a really good guy, and Glenda Dawson, who we talked about earlier, which joined us, knows him too. Guy named Tony Guy Parker. So shout out to him if he's listening in, because that could be an exciting thing. Um, I've seen people cry, doing readings for them, and a sick part of me likes that. yeah, got him. Uh,
Hey Chip, I'm gonna have to give this over to Michael in about 3 minutes, but we could stay on. We could stay on here if you want to,
no, because
but I have to
I
give
got
this over.
everything programmed to get off at the top of the hour. So I think
Oh,
we'll
okay.
say our goodbyes now. Send our love out to Michael Vera. Thank you for you know letting me back into your hood again. Love you, big guy. To everybody who joined us, I'm so touched. I mean, that means so much to me. And Timmy being back and helping produce and helping me out here makes it so I wouldn't spend the whole program trying to fumble around and figure out what I was doing. But yeah, please watch my space at facebook.com /victims of retail or Chip Reichenthal. Uh, Kindness Beyond the Veil page. Even the Dead Won't Tell You the Truth. My book that's been gotten 5-star reviews recently. We've gotten 6 new 5-star reviews in the last 2 months. I may be coming to a town near you if you live in the Albany, Schenectady, Troy vicinity of New York State. And if you're listening or watching, I'll see you again soon. God bless everybody for joining me. It means so much to me. Thank you, and I get to do it with my buddy Timmy, and the boys are back in town. So I think I'm watching the clock, and
Stay tuned for Last Frequency with host Michael Bear up next, right here on lastfrequency.com. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, lots of love. Everybody dance.
You're listening to the VARA network.
All right,
All
buddy.
right, Chippy.
Well done.
Oh, that was a great show,
like
wasn't it?
that. Well, technically, we're still on Facebook, so I think yeah.
No, that's great. Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna get kicked off in a minute. So yeah, again to everybody who joined us, thank you.
Well,
Really, I'm gonna trust me. I'm gonna hug my beautiful wife on your behalf as soon as this is
thank you
over.
so much.
And to me, we're gonna talk about being back on the realm. So I'm going to be back on Supernatural Realm, which is Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Last frequency.
Tuesdays
Wednesday,
and Thursdays,
this
yeah.
Wednesday, 9 p.m. Glenda's Dragon's Den, GlendasMagicalCreations.com, and other links which you can find here on Facebook and just about every social media channel in the world. She's a lot better with that stuff than I do. I don't even have a WhatsApp. I don't even know what a WhatsApp is.
I don't have it either.
So there's a little TMI for you. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
get
we're
cut
on.
off. So
Yeah.
thank you, Tim, for making this so much easier for me. Thank you, everybody.
I'm streaming it on my Facebook
Are
and
you?
my
Okay.
YouTube channel as well.
Cool. Good. I'm glad you're recording it.
We'll have to double team like this
Yeah, we'll
again.
have to do that soon. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm still kind of taking it in. I figured there'd be like, outside of you, one or two people.
We had a huge, you
Yeah.
had a huge welcome,
No,
welcoming
man.
tonight.
God. Oh, it's always nice to know. Yeah.
See, we miss you, Chip.
Well, I missed
Everybody miss you.
everybody too. Yeah. That's
Make sure to give me
Oh
your
yeah,
number, your
yeah,
new number
absolutely.
too.
I've I got I think this new version of Messenger, and I don't even know what that means. But I'll send it to you on that. Um, yeah, as soon as I figure out this. This is my studio, right? Or is this your studio? My studio. Okay.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
yours.
So yeah, let me make sure once this shuts us off, I'll text you my
Maybe
my,
send me an
my
audio
number.
copy of
Yeah,
it. So I
yeah.
can,
No, that'd be great. Well, I don't know. I might have a video copy of it too, both from Facebook and from Restream. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
You should have an audio
Oh,
copy of
cool.
it too.
Yeah, that'd be nice too. Uh, okay. Yeah, I'm on my second phone. I still haven't found that. I lost my phone that night I went to the hospital and they sent me to two other
That guy
hospitals.
never,
Yeah.
that guy never gave it to
Still
you.
haven't found it. They sent it to the wrong person. I think it was overseas, somewhere in South America or something.
I gave the driver your
Yeah,
address.
I know. So did I. But they had already sent it to somebody whose name came up. It's one of those things when you buy it off of an internet third party thing that somebody else's name might be on it. Especially if you don't know how to make your own number. Yeah,
I told the Uber driver your
I know,
address.
but once it got to her and she said, "No, this is not my aunt's." We don't know what she did with it. So, she could have sent it to the wrong address. She could have, sold it. I mean, so this is my new official phone now. So I'll give you the number there.
Okay.
Um,
Don't lose it.
I'm going to send it to you privately. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, because if I'm home on my phone all day, that won't get me in my.
Yeah, I have to take an Uber driver, medical driver down when I go to
Oh yeah.
Pittsburgh for my
You know something? I
ultrasound.
learned more from Uber drivers than just about anyone else. You get
Oh, I love it.
no,
I
not
have
even
had a
idiot.
bad one
I,
yet.
I mean, some of the greatest guys in the world. You know, uh, in fact, some of the best information about how to better handle uh, uh, my wife and her health situation has come from Uber drivers, and she's got some of the best doctors in the world. So I mean, go figure.
Yeah, I have to see my cardiologist on the 13th, or the 14th, and then I have to go to Pittsburgh
Oh,
on
you
the
said the
18th for
13th for the cardiologist
my
and
ultrasound.
the 18th for the
Yeah,
yeah, because one's a 4 and one's a 9. So
yeah,
the 9 one would be more significant numerology wise,
yeah,
because it's either a major beginning or a major ending to something, uh,
yeah,
and not meaning life, uh, but a phase of some kind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It could be that you just happen to be having it, and that your buddy's coming back to do some radio. Yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
so could be any of that stuff. I'm gonna. Oh yeah, we're definitely off now. So let me uh, find the messenger thing and text you.
Says we're still
Really?
alive yet.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
me then. All right. I'll have to end the stream. All right. So if anybody can still see us, we love you. Thank you. All right. And I'll text you the thing. All right.
Okay.